Hello there, my name is Celeste, and I'm going to pull some tarot cards for my fellow word witches this evening to celebrate the full moon. I'm really feeling the energy all day. Ooh, interesting. So some of you are really struggling right now to get a leg up. The situation has you feeling a little bit off balance, and you really would like to know what you can do to kind of even things out, swing things in your favor if possible. And this to be fair card. This is to me, this is speaking to kind of the two-sided conversation that's going on, where everything feels very divided, and people are having a hard time. Some people are having a hard time, I should say some people are having a hard time deciding kind of how it is that they feel about the situation. Like we can see the importance of being home right now and of taking care of ourselves, but we also are concerned with our well-being in another sense, in the other sense of the word, which is some people want to go back to work, and other people don't want them to. So it's a little bit of a division. Let's see what kind of cards come out to talk a little bit more about this. I love a good shuffle. These cards are a little bit big though. They fall out. So we get the Ace of Swords. King of Pentacles. Oh, and the Hierophant. Okay, so what I'm getting out of this is that some of you are waiting on some news. The Ace of Swords. You are waiting on responses, or you're waiting to hear back from somebody. Maybe about something that you submitted or sent out. And this here, the King of Pentacles, this would be somebody who has the control, and it kind of reflects having all of your financial stuff in order. So you're waiting for this person to get back to you. This is somebody who has control over the sale or the income that you're trying to make. And then this being the Hierophant and a reversal. Okay, what I'm seeing here is that this is about one of two things. This is about either a contract that you were feeling very hopeful about that you're unsure about now, or this is possibly for those of you who are in school, or this is like school has been canceled, and maybe you had some plans to continue your education and you're not sure now. Or like I said, or there was a contract that you thought was going to go through, but you're not sure if that's going to happen right now. So this reversal of this card is about a hesitation. It's about pulling back. It's about uncertainty. These cards are going to be about supporting influences. We got the Hierophant again in the reverse. That's interesting. Too many. I just want two more, Spirit. Ah, okay. So supporting influence, it's interesting that the Hierophant came out right again in the reverse again. So what that's saying is that you don't need to, so we can kind of see this, whatever's on hold here, we can kind of look at that as something that's frustrating us, that feels a little unfair, or we can look at it as a positive, and use this time to really think about what we want moving forward. The moon is about what's hidden, and it's a full moon this evening. And what I'm getting, what my mind is drawn to immediately, is this little cat is looking in the pond and he sees a big cat, okay? It's the magic of his reflection. It's how he sees himself. So what this card is saying is that it's a supporting thing, how you see yourself. If you can see yourself as winning here instead of being the victim, then you're going to come out of this a lot better. But really, ultimately, that magic is within you. No one else can do that for you. And the Two of Cups in reverse. This is, again, pointing to, so I'm really feeling now at this point like this might be like a, for some of you, this might be like a partnership that's on hold. The Two of Cups usually represents, like in a love reading, it can be about two people coming together. And this big toast with the sun in the background. So this is a very positive card about partnership and about two people coming together. Even the kitties are coming together down here. And then when you flip it over, what this can say a lot of things, but to me right now, what it's saying is that there is a hesitation. There is maybe not a failure to come together, but it's like you're feeling alone and you're really, really, really wanting this. But I drew this card in the supportive way. And so somehow this failure to come together with other people or with this person, maybe it was an agent or an editor that you wanted to sign with, or maybe perhaps you got rejected, or your program that you were going to go to is on hold. But that this is really a time for you to be alone with yourself. Maybe it's not the right time to be working with other people. Maybe what is most supportive is for you to dig into your craft by yourself. Which all comes back to this idea of being, you're wanting this leg up. I don't know, I had it and then I lost it. I can't remember what I was going to say. It'll come back to me if it's meant to. I'm going to draw 3 more cards. These are going to be things that are crossing you. Things that are in your way. Things that are actually in your way. Things that you should be looking out for. Interesting. Cards are so stiff. I have such a hard time shuffling them. I love this deck though. Try to get 2 more. Oh, there they are. Okay. Okay. Okay, so right off the bat, these cards are in the crossing position. So this tells me that you need to look out for these things. These can be problems for you. And number 1 is, so the 10 of Pentacles is about fulfillment on your career path. But it is also about this idea that you have to have it all to have enough. And what's interesting to me is that's also coming out in this happiness. This tells me, I'm going to come back to that. The Ace of Cups tells me that you are putting all of your heart into whether this one thing works out. And that can be a little dangerous. Why that's in the crossing position is because you're not considering other options. You're putting all kinds of pressure on this one thing to work out for you. And if it doesn't work out, you won't be able to see what else you've got left. It's literally like being laser focused on this one thing working out for you. And that could be this one manuscript, this one story, could be this one person that you're wanting to work with that hasn't been coming through for you, this one opportunity that isn't coming. Whatever it is, you are laser focused on this being your new beginning. And the reason I know that is because I get these 10s. So this is the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is about fulfillment of like love and relationship. It's like you're just dreaming that everything is going to be perfect when you reach this goal, when this thing happens. It's very similar to this. You think that it's very all or nothing thinking is what I'm seeing right here. So that's what's crossing you, is all or nothing thinking. So how do we spin this to our advantage? I'm going to pull a surrender card, some surrender cards. So the surrender cards tell you what you need to let go of. And sometimes that can be quite concrete, and sometimes it's a little more abstract. Okay. So what can you let go of? Well, you can surrender to joy. And this is about finding your pleasure in, not just in writing, but in other things. Understanding that it's not all or nothing. That sometimes, that even though you love writing and you want to make this work, that there is something else in your life to be grateful for. Making sure that you're not so laser focused on this one thing to happen, that you're looking for joy in other areas of your life. It's kind of a warning against trying too hard. And we have surrender the habit of people pleasing. So sometimes when we want something really, really badly, we realize that we're doing this thing where we're trying to make everybody happy. So this can show up in writing in a lot of ways. One way that it can show up is paying too much attention what other people think of our writing. And that can especially happen during the submissions process. During school was my experience observing others during graduate school. I noticed that a lot. People were trying so hard to meet the expectations of others that they forgot to please themselves. They forgot to find the joy in it for themselves. And then the last one is to surrender to the beauty of the natural world. And I think what this is talking about is taking your focus off your writing once in a while, making sure that you are spending time either outside or with some sort of a hobby or activity that sort of grounds you in the natural world, or in beauty. And I think that there can be a lot of ways to do that, even if you are homebound, even if you can't go outside. There are different ways to connect to the natural world. Some people love house plants, find a way to garden in a container garden if you have a patio, or maybe if you have a sunny window, maybe you can raise some herbs or something like that. Cooking is another great way to connect with the natural world indoors. And through photography, if you can't go outside for some reason, because I know a lot of people do live in places where it's hard to get outside. Photography is a really beautiful way to connect to the natural world. I'm just going to pull a couple more cards that will give you some advice for moving forward. Let me just take a minute. These will be guidance cards. One of these cards. one. I like that too. That ties right in. Keep this table. I'm going to take both of these. When I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. So this is about accepting where you're at as a teacher. So some people kind of bristle at the idea of hard times being a teacher, and some people really like that idea. And if you're one who bristles, I'm not going to say that you're wrong, but what I am going to suggest is that when you can look at hard things as a teacher, it's a lot easier to extract the light from them than if you resist them. The more you resist, the more the negative feelings kind of stick around. So in this spread, there was a lot of resistance to kind of the middle ground, I guess is what I'm saying. So if we accept that all or nothing kind of thing as the teacher, and we just kind of lean into that situation, what it comes out to is that we're focusing on the wrong thing. And when we accept that maybe what we're focusing on is the wrong thing, you don't necessarily have to know exactly what you want to focus on. All you have to do is let go of the idea that all or nothing is the wrong thing. And then you'll be shown what is in the middle ground. So this one says, when I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. It's about aligning with joy, which really tied into this card. Surrender to joy. And I like this one. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. So why do people please? I guess I should say. People pleasing is a way to avoid the discomfort of displeasing people, of people not liking us, or people not agreeing with us. There's discomfort in people not being pleased with us. So some of us learn to people please to make ourselves feel good. It's self-soothing. But people pleasing and that good feeling that we're seeking, as long as we're getting it, it keeps us from actually dealing with whatever the trigger is. And the trigger is how we feel when someone is displeased with us. When we take some time to dig into those triggers, we can discover what it is that we actually want to feel. What we want to feel when we're people pleasing is accepted and loved by others. And by honoring how we want to feel, we will naturally seek out people who make us feel that way without us having to please them. So in the grand scheme of things, I hope you got something out of this. Thank you. Have a good night.